sa ato ang earthquake, and then aside ana siya puy ga accept, ay no, siya ang ga deform every time na ay mga lateral loads na to. So siya lang ang ga deform. So if ever na ay mga deformations or anything, dali ra siya pulihan, because katulang man nga segment ang need ilisan or for easier replacement, kay dali ra i-locate, kay all of the deformations are restricted dito lang jud sa ato ang links, which is similar sa functions of use.
Yeah, okay. So, by the way ba, kaniyatong time, di ba sa Euro kayo? From 7:30, di ba? From 7:30 to 9, and then we move it 8 p.m. So, ang uban sa inyo yata ni mga bago pa kamata. Tama ba? Engineer Donald? Di ba sa Euro kayo ni? Because normally, ang class man gyud nato no, is normally mag-start siya og 9. Mao na siya ang every weekend. No, mag-start yun na siya 9 a.m. in the morning until ang uban mo abot sila og gabi or hapon. But I think ang ato schedule is naka-start siya og 7:30 and we move it sa 8. No, in which way earlier siya sa atong klase sa masteral nga 9 nang yun na siya normally mag-start, di ba? Based on your experiences, no, sa inyong uban subjects, di ba? 9 siya normally. Sa inyong uban yung masters nga subject.
Yes, sir.
Usually after dun po, sir.
Di ba? Mag-start siya og 9 nga ang uban, mag-start siya og 1. Uban mag-start siya og 4 o'clock. So, what do you think? Okay ra mo sa 8?
Okay ra ko sa 8, sir. I don't know with my classmates.
Yeah. Para ni engineer din lang sa ingon gyud sa kay na honestly gito no. Bago ba siya kamata? Saman.
Yes, sir.
Okay
Bago po
mo
kayo
sa 8
kumata,
or
sir. Sir, basig
Oh.
mamove na nato nga pwede ka ng udto-udto gamay or
o
kanang
8:30 ba ka? Wala na gyud reason nga mag 8:30 ta nga bago pa mo kamata kuya na gyud na siya. Ha? So mag-start tag 8:30, mag-end gyud ta og mga 10. Okay ra man na. May mag-consensus raw ta. Parang uban nga bago pa ka matag 8, at least maka-prepare pa gamay mga within 30 minutes before mag-start, no? Okay ra mo ng 8:30?
okay ra ko, sir.
Okay ra, sir.
Yes,
So,
sir.
8:30 ta nga 8:30 ta para at least 30 minutes earlier ta sa normal start sa atong masteral, kay normally 9 manguna siya. Nakuha ng zone sa scheduler, no? Sa atong scheduler sa school, basig nakuha niya ang subject nga undergrad ba. Kaya ang mga undergraduate nga subjects kana mga 7:30 kana diya mag-start. I think ganis lang engineer diya aware na, no? Ni mga part-timers na to.
Yes, sir. 7:30. Dagan-dagan pa din pilahan, sir.
No, 7:30 mga undergrad. So basig nakuha ni sa kuan ba, na mislook lang ni siya sa scheduler. Nga na earlier siya start sa 7:30, knowing siguro nga abin niya undergrad. So sa next meeting na to, we'll start at 8:30, no? So 30 minutes earlier siya sa normal start gyud sa ato ng mga masters na subject. So okay. So naana si Ma'am Lian, no? Nag-attendance kami kanina, Ma'am Lian. And then ato lang sa ni kuan ang uban nga nakasulod. Nana si
Good morning,
Isang
sir.
si Engineer Kilat Wina. Nana ka Engineer Wina? Engineer Wina? Ama ni si Engineer Wina.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Oh, gusto naman ka. Ikaw sunod mag-present next nga meeting ha?
Sige, sige, sir.
Oh, after karon so sa Thursday po, ikaw after ni Ma'am Lian. Yung sa pa wala nagtawag ganina. Na si Ma'am Magto. Lian. And then,
Ay, good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
good
Sorry,
morning,
guys.
Ma'am Lian.
Mga
So,
pensa nga na late ko, sir.
nag-attendance kami ganina, Ma'am Lian. So, tell me if already na ka, Ma'am Lian, no, so that we can give you the floor.
Okay, sir, sorry kay ngayon ako dispensa, sir, na ang akong i-present karon is an overview sa akong report. Naapay continuation ani, sir, kay medyo taas-taas magod siya, sir, ba, so okay ra, sir, nga
Yeah, okay, Ma'am Lian.
kay katong mga problems bitaw, sir. Then also the NSTP na provisions sa next meeting na ko ma-present, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Okay lang, Ma'am Lian. So, you may take the floor, Ma'am Lian.
Okay, sir. Sorry pag kay medyo di pa kay ko teki, so ga pa ngay paghugon sa ni pag kuan sa sharing. Sorry. Ah, mag-request ko for sharing, sir.
Yeah, you can share now, Ma'am Lian. Muna na i-click, Ma'am Lian, ng share bitaw nga na naka-arrow up. Mo na siyang i-click, Ma'am Lian. Kanya, makita na din mo ang imong screen. So, we can see now your screen, Ma'am Lian, no? And then you can share that one as the full screen. Ano.
Okay, good morning, Doc Baguhin and classmates.
Good morning, Ma'am Lian.
My report is about the buckling restrained brace frame. So this is a continuation of the report of the previous reporters. Next. So mao ni siya ang buckling restrained brace frame nga picture. It is a high performance plus framing and foundation savings ni siyang braced frame. So what is buckling restrained brace frame? So buckling restrained brace frame is a structural brace in a building designed to allow the building to withstand cyclical lateral loadings, typically earthquake-induced loading. It consists of a slender steel core, a concrete casing designed to continuously support the core and prevent buckling under axial compression, and an interface region that prevents undesired interactions between the two. Braced frames that use BRBs, known as buckling restrained brace frames or BRBFs, have significant advantages over typical braced frames. So, ato pong kuan unsay history aning buckling restrained brace frame. So, the concept of BRBs was developed in Japan by Nippon Steel at the end of the 1980s. It was known by its trademark name of unbonded brace. It was first installed in the United States in 1999 in the Plant and Environmental Sciences building in UC Davis. In 2002, both Core Brace LLC and Star Seismic LLC were incorporated and began competition with Nippon in the BRB design market. So BRB usage is currently accepted with its design regulated in current standards throughout the world. So what are the components of BRB? There are three major components of a BRB that can distinguish, which are the steel core, its bonding preventing layer, and its casing. The steel core is designed to resist the full axial tension force developed in the bracing. Its cross-sectional area can be significantly lower than that of regular braces since its performance is not limited by buckling. The core consists of a middle length that is designed to yield inelastically in the event of a design-level earthquake and rigid non-yielding lengths on both ends. The increased cross-sectional area of the non-yielding section ensures that it remains elastic and thus plasticity is concentrated in the middle part of the steel core. Such configuration provides high confidence in the prediction of the element behavior and failure. The second component is the bond preventing layer. It decouples or separates the casing from the core. This allows the steel core to resist the full axial force developed in the bracing as designed. And the third component is the casing. Through its flexural rigidity, it provides lateral support against the flexural buckling of the core. It is typically made of concrete-filled steel tubes. The design criterion for the casing is to provide adequate lateral restraint, such as rigidity, against the steel core buckling. So, So this is another presentation sa composition of the elements no nga makita nato ang picture. So ang inner steel core which is fully braced, kung makita nato sa arrow, mao ni siya ang fully braced within the casing and grout such that it can yield in tension and compression with no buckling. And then the bond preventing layer around the inner core and the outer steel casing with the grout infill which provides stability to the inner core. So this is also another picture of the composition. So buckling restraint braces are a relatively new type of steel brace. In contrast to typical steel braces, which can buckle suddenly due to compressive loads. So, kani siya na mga braces, no, is a typical steel brace. So, dali ra siya mag-buckle due to compressive loads unlike the BRB. So, traditional brace frames ni siyang pictures. This was tested to failure for buckling and rupture. So, characteristics of buckling restraint braces. Because of BRBs achieve a high level of ductility and stable, repeatable hysteresis loops, BRBs can absorb significant amount of energy during cyclic loadings such as an earthquake event. So, unsa may pasabot aning repeatable hysteretic behavior of structures built with BRBs. It means that when a building that uses buckling restraint braces, it sways back and forth during an earthquake. It can absorb and release energy again and again. Rashag shock absorber without losing much of its strength or stiffness. So, ang hysteretic behavior refers to how a structure behaves when it's pushed and pulled repeatedly, like during an earthquake. So the structure bends one way then the other, and the energy it absorbs and gives off is shown in a loop called a hysteresis loop. And repeatable siya since the structure can do this many times. It doesn't weaken or get damaged easily even after several cycles of shaking. So BRBs are special braces designed not to buckle when compressed, so they can take both tension and compression forces effectively. Because of this, they can dissipate or absorb a lot of earthquake energy repeatedly and reliably. So it can sway back and forth many times during an earthquake and still stay strong, just like a durable spring that doesn't wear out quickly. So, compare they to with other steel braces, no? If you use ordinary steel braces, they can stretch easily in tension, but buckle or bend or crumple when compressed. After a few cycles, they lose strength like a paper clip that breaks if you bend it too many times. With the BRBs, because it has a steel core that takes the tension and compression encased in a sleeve that stops it from buckling, It can yield or deform in both directions, stretch and compress without losing strength, and can absorb earthquake energy again and again in a controlled, repeatable way. So mao dito niya ang atong connections. So the purpose of buckling restraint braces is to dissipate lateral forces from columns and beams. The connection of the braces to beams and columns can greatly affect the performance of the brace in the case of a seismic event. Typically, the brace is attached to a gusset plate, which in turn is welded to the beam and or column that the brace will be attached to. There are three types of connections that are used for BRBs. And first is the welded connection. The brace is fully welded to the gusset plate in the field. Although this option requires additional man-hours on site, it can increase the performance of the brace itself by improving the force transfer mechanism and potentially lead to smaller braces. Another connection is the bolted connection. The brace is bolted to the gusset plate in the field. And the third connection is the pin connection. The brace and gusset plate are both designed to accept a pin, which connects them to each other and allows for free rotation. This can be beneficial to the design engineer if he or she needs to specify a pin type connection. In addition to the connection type, the details of the connection can also affect the transfer of forces into the brace and thus its ultimate performance. Typically, the brace design firm will also specify the proper connection details along with the brace dimensions. So this is a picture of an end connection, the bolted end connection. The bolted connection has plenty of field tolerance, resulting in fast and efficient structural frame erection. This is also another picture of the bolted end connection na nasa top and naapod sa bottom. Another end connection option is the welded end connection, which provides an efficient solution for projects with relatively low capacity BRBs. Welded braces arrive at the job site completely fabricated and ready for installation with integral erection bolt holes. And the third connection option is the pinned end connection, which is ideal when connections are exposed to view. Although this connection has tighter erection tolerances than other connection types, it can make a great aesthetic addition to any project. So, what are the advantages of using BRBs? So, they are superior energy dissipation. BRBs perform much better than special concentrically braced frames in absorbing earthquake energy. It also provides stable and repeatable behavior during seismic events. It has lower seismic loads, higher behavior factor, reduces which is R is equal to 8, reduces earthquake forces in the structure. Regarding this response, can R is equal to 8, I will further explain this in the next report, in my next report. So it also leads to smaller beams, columns, and connections, smaller foundation loads, and lighter structures overall. It is also cost efficiency and faster construction, easier and quicker to erect than SCBFs, and reduces labor and project time. Independent studies show that savings of up to $5 per square foot ingon sa US ni siya na kung ano, wala na ko na convert to pesos. So, kuan lang, compared to other seismic systems. So it is also one of the advantages it is ease of repair and retrofitting, ideal for seismic retrofitting of existing buildings. So after an earthquake, if naa siya damage, damage is limited to the brace core only, making inspection and replacement simple. And for the disadvantages, molin siya work hardening effect. Sorry. Google. So sa disadvantages, man siyang work hardening effect. As the steel core yields, it becomes stiffer and stronger, up to 2 times the initial yield force. This increases seismic forces on the structure. Also, it has higher structural demands. Increased stiffness shortens the building's period and also causing higher acceleration responses, which require stronger foundation and connections. Sorry. And for post-earthquake replacement, since BRBs depend on ductile deformation, it must be replaced after major earthquakes due to permanent damage. So, something kadi. Regarding sa work hardening effect, when an earthquake hits, the steel core inside the BRB bends and stretches to absorb energy. As it keeps bending, the steel gets harder and stronger, so sometimes twice as strong as before. So it sounds good, but it also means the brace pushes back harder on the building's frame. So inside the forces inside the building actually increase, putting more stresses on beams and columns. And for the higher structural demands, because the brace becomes stiffer, the building shakes faster. Its vibration period becomes shorter. This can make the earthquake shaking feel stronger on the structure. But to handle that, the engineers need to design stronger foundations and connections, which can add to the cost. So, BRBs are also designed to absorb earthquake energy by deforming. So, after post-earthquake replacements, after a big quake, they stay permanently bent and can't be reused. They must be replaced to keep the building safe. So, in simple terms, BRBs are great at protecting buildings during the earthquakes, but after doing their job, they can make the structure stiffer and increase the shaking forces, and they likely need to be replaced afterward because of the damage they took. So, sir, sa next nako na report, sir, I will explain further regarding the technical the technical aspects of the BRB, and I will also give an example the nga gigamit ang kaning BRB dito sa Makati in the Philippines, and problem also, sir. So until here lang sa, sir, it is only an overview of the BRB. Sure. Hello, sir. Hello, Doc. Nawala man si sir.
Okay, so I think Ma'am Lian, are you done no, with your presentation? And you will have your second part on the next meeting?
Yes, sir. I will have my second part of the report.
Okay, so initial question from the panels or from your classmates, you can raise your hand. No may question? So you trace back the history of your topic, Ma'am Lian, no?
Yes, sir.
So we will expect more on sample problem application in your next presentation.
Yes, sir. Actually, there is a problem that I have kanang nakita, sir. But nakakuan mo gud siya, sir. Wala siya naka-metric unit. So, nangita pa po ko another problem na naka-metric unit siya, sir. And I also, there's also an example or an explanation regarding an application in a high-rise building in Makati, sir, using the BRB.
Okay. Yeah, so initially, Ma'am Lian, no? You are more focused on the backlink. So what would you think is the main cause of backlink, Ma'am Lian, sa ato mga brace connections?
Okay, unlike the BRB, sir, nga kanang ang iyahang unsa ni siya, because of kaning comparing with other braced frames, sir, mag-create siya og hinges at the middle sa braced, while kung using the buckling restrained braced frame, the mo ano na siya, sir, baka nang mo-adjust siya because of the composition of the brace nga dili siya mo buckle.
Okay. I just think no that we need to compile all our questions maybe after you are done with your presentation siguro, Ma'am Lian. No? If ever nga wala ni question ng uban nga mga panels. Any question from the panel? We will cater 1 to 2 questions siguro.
Further, ano na lang po, sir, sa katong question, sir. Compared with the ordinary braced frames, mga good, sir, ang BRB, equal ang yung performance in tension and compression. So, with the other braced frame, uneven ang yung performance, kay strong lang siya in tension but weak in compression. So, mo nang gabakal siya. And then, ang energy dissipation po niya, limited ang energy absorption sa mga ordinary braced frame, while excellent ang energy dissipation due to stable yielding sa BRBF. And mo nang they fail suddenly because of ang ilahang ductility is low to moderate, while BRB is high in ductility. So, ang braces, mo deform lang siya smoothly without collapse. Ang damage pattern po sa other ordinary braced frame kay mo buckle sila or fracture leading to possible frame damage, while ang damage concentrated in steel core is can be easily replaced. So
Okay.
right after earthquake, it may require placement of multiple members sa ordinary, while ang sa BRB, ang katwa lang siya nga frame ang i-replace. And larger beams and columns and foundation pod ang needed sa ordinary brace frames, while ang sa BRB, mga smaller members and lighter foundation loads na lang siya. Hinoon as to cost and construction, low material cost but higher pod ang repair and maintenance sa ordinary, while sa BRB it is slightly higher initial cost but more cost effective overall sa sa building owner.
Okay, so I think you can present also some detail from that siguro, Ma'am Lian, no? On your next presentation siguro.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I think that's a very good comparison to the ordinary resisting frame, no? And compared to the to your paning naka-brace, ma'am, no? Frame.
Yes.
Okay, so by the way, sa mga kuan no, I think there's no more questions na siguro, Ma'am Lian, until siguro nga mauman ang presentation.
Okay,
So
sir.
I think we are done with your initial presentation today, and we will have it on our next meeting by Thursday po. So together with Engineer Win Nakilat, no? So thank you for your presentation, initial presentation, Ma'am Lian, and before ta mag-end siguro, no, mga graduate students, I think some of you already attended, no, the infrastructure audit. I think kamo ni Engineer Oliver Mamliano, or napay naka-attend sa ato mga fellow engineers or mga graduate students din. Anyone who attended the training sa infrastructure audit? Wala ka mura siguro, Ma'am Lian, ba? Ni Engineer T siguro naka-attend. So by the way, Ma'am Lian, wala si Engineer Donald, no?
Sir,
Maybe unsa inyo makuha na tong training nato, Ma'am Lian?
actually, sir, that was really a informative, educational, labi na sa mga LG user, nga kinahanglan jud mi og inadto na mga input, sir. And even kanang other dili mga civil engineers are also interested ana nga infra audit, and gani ang katong uban participants which are coming from CDRRMD, dili sila civil engineer pero interested yun kaayo sila, sir, to learn and to know about infrastructure audit. So this would be very helpful labi na for LGUs in maintaining and ang resiliency sa government buildings. Actually, in OBO, sir, we are conducting annual building inspections for public schools and government buildings, even GSIS and other kind government agencies, no? And isa jud nga nakita namo sir nga problem is nga construct sila nga walay mga building permits or certificate of occupancy. So it is really a challenge sa OBO nga unsaon na mo pag-assess sa buildings, and even we get positive response from other government agency, like example GSIS, no? Some government agencies man gud sir kay they have their own kanang building maintenance na division sa ilang central offices. So like GSIS, ang central office nila is from Manila, ni anhi jud sila dire sa CDO to kuan kanang to address concerns nga walay mga building permits. So they made kanang as-built plans, and also they use some equipments to na makita sa jud sir ang like siguro rebar scanner, makita jud ang pila ang rebars, labi na sa mga old buildings nga more than 15 years na, and because of that kuan kaning assessment sa building, mahibawaan po nato if kinahanglan ba siya i-retrofit or repair or kinahanglan na siya i-demolish. So, and dili lang sad sa structural nga kabahin ang among nakita sir, like sa plumbing or sa sanitary, nagduol ang kaning unsa ni nagduol ang kaning septic vault sa kanang kuan sa tubig, murag panding water ba. So murag unsanitary na kay siya, and siguro kana man kung mag-approve sa building permit by contractor man na siya, and then dili ma-present ang mga neighboring na mga buildings nga duol na day ang septic sa ilahang like example duol sa generator or katong sa water panding nila. So mag-contaminate ang kuan. So isa na siya nga nangakita sir. So maayo jud to siya nga activities sir and inputs para sa amoa, particularly nga kanang kasagara ga ka-experience na jud nato ang earthquake, and kinahanglan jud nga ang building is also safe for the users and the occupants.
Yeah, I think it's
Thank
good
you
to
kaayo ato sir. Thank you kaayo sa pag-share sa answer.
Yeah, it's good to hear, Ma'am Lian, no? At least ang atong ubo is taga naging naka-line up, naka-pipeline ng activities.
Yes, tagad. Bago lang nag earthquake sir, so rapid post earthquake sa admin, and daghan kaayo ang schools sa Cagayan de Oro, maabot jud og 90 plus appeal na sa hinterlands, and gani ga sige pa og request ang uban nga wala jud na nga adtuan. So mga public schools and government buildings, although ang sa private naapod sila ginahire na mga private engineers to assess their building.
Sige, Ma'am. So, I think that's a very good development, Ma'am, no, sa atong field sa civil engineering, for that matter. So, kami po, no, sa USTP, we are conducting our own structural integrity assessment, no, sa buildings namo sa among mga campuses. And auto siya, no, very kuan kayo ang training sa DLG, no, useful and helpful siya because at least we do have a guide, no, from the national, no, mao ni siya ang pag-assess na to sa atong mga buildings, no, sa atong mga different buildings, private and public. So we are happy, no, at least ang different government agencies are doing their job to have that assessment to make us safe, no, sa mga subsequent to baka ng mga earthquakes po, kung safe ba nga to pang mga existing buildings. Okay? So for those mga na to, no, mga students na to nga sa atong subject, atong mga interested mo learn from the assessment, no, sa atong mga buildings. I think it's good siguro, no, nga every now and then mag-upgrade, no, ang mga gina-invite o gina-encourage na po ang mga young na mga civil engineers na to upgrade, no, and even to learn more sa sa atong field of civil engineering, especially sa mga building assessment. So atong ginakandak na to sa DILG nga training and seminar, no, it's a good initiative from the national government. Nga ang sa ubusan, no, nagkandak po sila gyud og mga assessment. And I think Ma'am Lian na nagamit po ninyo, Ma'am Lian, tong atong sa DILG ba ng mga forms.
Nagamit gid kaayo, sir. Although
Mm.
naa pa man mi own na form, but katuman gid siya na harmonized tool na appeal dito ang Hazard Hunter, ang itong sa Spectra. So ano gid kay siya helpful kay mahibawaan na to pila ang distance from a fault or hibok ang kanang volcano. So medyo ano siya ba, mas detalyado and medyo accurate lugar na assessment.
Yeah. So considering
Mga
the proximity.
geological hazards na appeal na po siya dito kung ano ba siya and prone to flood, prone to landslide, na appeal po ana nga tool. So I think it would be also kanang maayo nga ma-share po sa mga students and even sa DPWH kay I do not know if they are also conducting or na-apply training sa other government na mga agencies like DPWH.
Yeah. I think magplan po, naiplano po ang kuan no, nga after the training and seminar workshop with the DILG, in cooperation nga po siguro sa DILG and even sa UBO, ma'am, sa inyong office siguro po, ma'am, no, and other agency baka nga pwede sa nga babutang nato in partnership, ma'am, basig pwede po